got to start off Teal Tuesday with giving a nod to the boys across the street, Coach Schnall. I mean, it's not every day that you have a conference opponent come in that you not only sweep, but you run ruled 3 consecutive days in a row. If you haven't been out to see a game, unbelievable atmosphere. Our administration does a tremendous job of creating such a fun, friendly, family environment. Those guys are top notch, so come out and support them, and they're doing a phenomenal job. Back to some football. Good practice today. The one thing that we've done a good job of is our effort is right where you need it. You know, we fly to the football, we play with relentless effort. Now it's time to start focusing in and honing in on the details of the scheme. I talked to the guys today after practice a little bit. We have to be consistent in every single phase: offense, defense, special teams. The one thing you're going to see when you watch a game of the Chants is efficient and effective football. We're aligned properly. We do proper assignments. And then again, it comes down to the effort and performance. And I think the one thing we've done a good job, our staff has really been spot on the last few practices of putting them into some live situations, not necessarily full tackle, but situations where you have to go through and process what's the down and distance, what is the yard line, what is the offense thinking, what is the defense thinking, and see who can mentally process and digest scheme while having to be productive in an 11-on-11 setting. So I'm pleased with where we're at. Still a long way to go. A ton of work to be done. We still have to come together and mesh as a true unit, but I'm excited about what the future holds.
Coach, from an offensive standpoint, what do you like at this point through the first couple of weeks, and what do you feel like y'all need to work on from an offensive standpoint?
Yeah, I think we have some dynamic playmakers. The one thing that we do well is get our athletes the ball in space. And the one thing we do well at our skill groups is get yards after catch or yards after first contact from the running back room. I've really been pleased with that. Our offensive line is starting to learn how to finish down the field and finish big runs and big screen plays. We still need to work on, again, just the simplistic timing of routes, knowing if you come out of a 12-10 curl, the ball is going to be put on your outside shoulder away from the defender, understanding that we are a football team that still gets under center. You know, we're a pro-style offense. A lot of these guys, it's a disservice to them coming up in high school and 7-on-7. All they do is take snaps out of the gun. We're going to get under center, take snaps, run a true pro-style offense in case we get in a situation where we can go 4 minutes and run to win. We can take it the full length of the field and go win the football game. And so that's really kind of where we're at on offense. And again, we've got a bunch of playmakers that know how to get it done.
With that pro-style offense, just how have you seen the quarterback room kind of grow over these 9 or so practices that you've had so far here in spring ball?
Yeah, need to see a lot more growth. And the reason that is it's a lot on the quarterback position. You know, you've got to get in and out of advantage checks. You've got to identify rotation of defense. It's a lot on them. And that's what the beauty of spring ball is, kind of understanding who does what well. And again, you get to see that a lot when you go 11-on-11 and you go those call-it periods in practice. Get to kind of see who can run the show, who has that leadership capability and the moxie that we need to be successful.
Has there been one guy that stuck out so far above the rest when it comes to that room?
I don't think so. I think they're all pretty even right now. And you're going to notice that in the spring game. They're probably going to get almost equal reps. And I think that's important simply because if you're going to preach that every position is based on competition, everyone needs an opportunity to show that they can be the guy.
Defense-wise, just what are you seeing from them, and just what do you still want to see?
Yeah, they bring the juice every single day. One thing I love about the defense is that they've got a mentality. They've got a teal swarm mentality, and they've embodied our out-hustle mantra, and you can see it in the way they play the game. They are a fast, physical, aggressive group. They enjoy being around each other. That's one thing that you guys don't get a chance to see is watching the guys interact outside of the football field and watching them down at the cookout before we go over to the baseball game. They're truly coming together as a group, and that's the family atmosphere we need to build here.
With this spring game coming up on Friday, what is the major aspect of what you want to see from a coaching aspect from your players going into this thing on Friday?
I want to see clean football with unbelievable effort. I want to see them playing hard, competing, and understanding that the one thing about these 3 spring scrimmages as well as a spring game is they get to go through their processes of game day as well. What you do when you wake up, how do you treat your body, how do you get your mind mentally ready to perform at the highest level possible. And I want to see who does that well, you know, who can actually show up to warm-ups with that look in their eye that they're ready to take the field and have a championship-style day. And then who can do it when the fans are watching, when all your cameras are rolling, who can shine when the lights are the brightest.
You talked about the scrimmages. What have you seen out of those from the scrimmages you have had so far?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a culmination of what we've been talking about so far. Offensively, have the ability to have big plays. We've got tremendous athletes. We've got quarterbacks with big arms that can pump the ball down the field when the protection's there. Again, I think we need to continue to establish who we are in our run game, figure out what we like, what we can be efficient with, and go with that. And then defense, I think they've set the tone of the day more so than not, simply because they've, like I said earlier, they've brought the juice. They understand what it means to represent the Teal Swarm and know our brand of defense. We are a fast, physical, violent defense, and I know you guys don't know me super well yet. I love what I do. I love being a football coach, and I think they've really embodied that, and they enjoy the work.
You talked a little bit about the run game. What do you see from Nicely that makes you believe that he can continue to where he was last year and continue that growth and be a major part of this offense?
Yeah, Dom's a solid back. He's got really good contact power, meaning he's not a guy that just goes down off getting glanced. He's got really good vision. When you watch backs, if they keep their eyes up, he really sees what's happening in front of him and is not so worried about just the 5 inches in front of his face. That's good to see. And then with our offense, I told Dom when I was trying to keep him here over the off seasons that we're going to utilize him in multiple ways. He needs to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. He needs to be able to motion out into an empty set and get an advantage matchup on a linebacker. And I think he's really kind of grown into that role, and he understands that we're going to get him the ball.
So traditional spring games kind of fall apart. Can you just talk a little bit about what you plan on doing and what you've done in the past and how that kind of squares?
Yeah, absolutely. So Friday, you'll see we're going to go good on good. We have had a few nagging injuries on the O-line, so we can't totally separate the teams, but we're going to go ones versus ones, twos versus twos, hopefully get the threes out there, get everybody reps. We're going to try to get around 70 snaps probably, 70, 80 snaps, and then go from there. That's the goal. That's the target. And then special teams will not be live. So we'll kick the ball off on air, set it, place it, get going, and see who can compete.
Coach, you spoke previously about all the turnover and that you were fine with a lot of the turnover and rearranging the roster. Do you think you have a better roster this year than was on the team last year, and in what areas do you think it's better?
Yeah, that's a hard question to say. I know our football team right now. I'm sure there were a bunch of great men in that locker room last year, good coaches. It just didn't work out. I think we have a good locker room right now. I think our guys are coming together. I think we've got some tremendous pieces. I think our recruiting department did a nice job of evaluating and figuring out who fits our schemes well. So I'm really excited about the group we have in that locker room.
And any areas on the football field that you think you've upgraded position-wise? Or
Yeah, I would like to think that recruiting is one of our specialties. I think that we've upgraded at most positions. Again, it's hard to say. We're still 0-0, and everybody thinks Coach Beard's pretty cool. We haven't played a game yet. You know how that goes. But I do think we're bigger, faster, stronger. And I know that's kind of a short answer to who I think that we want to be and what we want to become. Every single time in the off season, the goal is to do that, and I think we did in some major areas. And just to answer your question a little bit on specific groups, I think the D-line has really taken a great step. I think we've got some big frames in there that have a great first step. They've got some leadership capacity to them, and that's one thing through spring ball we've been looking for is which groups can kind of step up as leaders, and you're about to hear from one of the best ones coming up.
Coach, what was the mindset of having a spring game and then coming back and having a couple more practices instead of just ending on Friday?
Yeah, I love it. I love the way that you can have a few scrimmages in a row and then have a real eval for the coaches on Saturday and Sunday to get in and grind through the film and see exactly what we need to specifically work on. Because, if you just do things and you're running plays, sometimes you get lost in what exactly do we need to figure out about our team. Like what areas did we not do well in the scrimmages, to focus on those areas for some situational football and also get a head start on some of our fall opponents. I think we'll have some group periods for some of our first few games and kind of get a bead on what we want to look like heading into West Virginia.
just now that the full schedule is out, just your thoughts on it. Obviously, your first year in the Sun Belt here, head coaching.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Each and every week is going to be a grind. We've got a great competitive league. I love having some of our rivalry games on national TV. Personally, I would love to play at home on national TV every single time we get a chance. I think one thing we do well here is fan experience, and our community is tremendously supportive. Anytime that we can showcase Teal Nation on national television, sign us up. So if ESPN's listening, okay, in the future, anytime we can play on a national game on big time ESPN, put the Shants up there. We'll be up for it.
You just made a pitch to ESPN, but make a pitch towards Sean LeClaire, the Shants fans that want to come out Friday for them to come out. And be
Yeah, Shants, come out. See the new era of what we look like as a football team, as people, as a program. I think you'll be excited about what you see. I think you'll have fun. Women, children, old, young, come out, support us. If you've ever even had a feeling about you want to be a Chanticleer fan, now's the time.
It's free.
And it's free. Yeah, free as me. Why not come out, right? Awesome, guys.
We're going to Banana Ball this weekend.
Yeah, the kids are fired up. We're excited about it. I've never actually been to one, so I'm pretty fired up about the game. Hopefully, they do some cool tricks and some dances. I know my son will be fired up. Now, here's the issue as a parent. I'm not a big coach on the field guy, so when my kids are playing, they do their own thing. Now, if he does some of the dances on second, he hits a big double or triple or home run and he starts dancing like that. That's the only time I might have to cut a dad whistle out and be like, "Hey man, we're good. Act like you've been there." That's right.
Coach, I got one more on. You mentioned the defensive line. Brought in a lot of offensive linemen. Do you expect to be bigger along the offensive front? And what type of offensive lineman are you looking for? Is mobility as much of a factor as size and power?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of each. I think we did definitely upgrade size-wise. Like Book, some of those guys in the inside have really shown some physical prowess. And I think I alluded to it last time I was up talking to you guys. The young guys that were already in the program offensively on the O-line, they have really good frames, good length, good height. I mean, 6'4", 6'5" type of guys. And the one thing with the offensive line that we've gone away from is, like, when I was playing and even younger, you can get just the big guys that are just road graders. You got to be able to pull. You've got to be able to get out on outside zone and reach up to a backer. So I think the nice mix of size and speed is important. Really, I focus on looking at the frame. I think we have one of the best strength staffs in the country, honestly. And I think that if we can get the right frames with the good footwork, we can make them into those big, powerful guys that you're looking for.